My second thing that I wanted to talk about was everyday English to academic English and where the change comes. So any students, be they teenagers, be they young children, be they adults, understand, generally speaking, that you speak differently and in different ways to different people. You would speak differently if you're talking to your best friend as opposed to, say, your grandmother or an authority figure or, say, a police officer, for example, or your teacher even. You speak about different things and you use different language. You choose different words. You choose different subject matter. And that is one good way to kind of start the students in understanding the difference between everyday English, being able to hold on a conversation about maybe how your day went, as compared to academic English, and be able to understand what's going on in sort of a given poem or novel or story that does not involve you, and how you can sort of start to use that language to understand a little bit more about it and to speak, to work through some of your thoughts in English as opposed to sort of bringing them back into your native language and then trying to translate sort of word for word rather than idea for idea in English. So one of the basic ways, like to just starting off, if I'm just introducing the students to this, I would give them a list of information that they need to convey. And I would say, okay, how would you say this to your friend? But then I would get them to compare, okay, well, now how would you say this if you had to, say, write it in a journal entry, and get them thinking about how there's different ways to express the information, and it all depends on your audience. Academic English, when you give them that sort of term, I don't think it means very much, especially because academic's probably not a word that they've seen a ton depending on their skill level. Whereas if you were to change the concept and say, okay, well, now think of you're speaking to a different audience or you're writing in a different forum, how would you fancy this up, or how would you make it more universally available so it's not just, inside jokes with you and your friend or something along those lines. This is important because, again, everyday English is not the end goal of the students, and it's great to see progress made in that, but when that's sort of the aspect that's taking a lot of the that's the aspect that's growing the most, you need to start, I think, as a teacher, trying to say, okay, this is great, you're now having better conversations in the class, but we need to also get you to support your learning a little bit more in terms of a more proper structure and tone and diction. And then that's the next kind of step up from just getting kids to be able to sort of speak to each other in groups, which is what we did a lot, learning French as a second language, and move it from that ability to how do you now take that and make it a much more academic-minded discussion.